Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight Davey Cretin is back. Tonight we continue on with our Styx series. We are looking at Edge of the Century from 1990 and Brave New World from 1999. The chat is open. We want to hear from you. Let's do it.
Grant's Rock Warehouse, now with the look and feel of hand-tooled leather.
Hey everybody, we are live, and it is a Tuesday, and hey, believe it or not, Davey, it is kind of nice outside right now. It's hot, but the sun's out, so I'm pretty excited.
In the low 70s here in New York.
I'm more excited about the weather than I am about these two records.
Uh-oh.
Well, we'll get into it.
I see some Sydney scores coming.
Well, if you're a Styx fan, you know that these records aren't any good. I mean, this isn't something that everybody knows that. Anyway, we'll get started.
It could be someone's entry point to the band, so they might love one of these records.
I don't think so. I don't know how that would be possible. Yvonne, of course you have these Styx albums because you love this kind of stuff. Webb says there's Horrible Storms. Man. Oh, this is going to be interesting because I don't think any of these two records have any. Let's say this.
Yes.
We were talking before we started this. Kilroy was here is absolutely brilliant compared to these two records. I will just leave it at that. Styx was really. Wait a minute. Byron says Styx was really her. Sure they were. Yes, they're hitting their stride. All right, well, let's get started. So tonight we're talking Edge of the Century from 1990. This released in 1990, October 9th, ladies and gentlemen. This was their reunion. Of course, we know Tommy's gone. Tommy's hanging out with Ted, and they got Glenn Burtnick to replace Tommy. And this is John Panazza's last record before his 1996 death. Does have a hit single, Show Me the Way. I will go on record. That's the best song on it. Peak number 3 on the Billboard charts. There was other singles. Love is Ritual got to number 80 and Love at First Sight got to number 25. Both I have no use for those. Brave New World in 1999. Tommy Shaw's back. No John Panazzo. This came out June 29th, 1999. Todd Zuckerman is here. And he's still here. And he's a great drummer. This is the last record with Dennis DeYoung, peaking at 175 on the Billboard 200. At this point, people did not care.
Exactly. Like a lot of old bands in the 90s, 70s legacy bands had this problem in the 1990s.
Yeah. This kind of has like a science fiction type of theme. Of course, you have Tommy back, and you also have the health issues with Dennis. So Dennis was on the record, but he wasn't like 100%, if you know what I mean. He wasn't doing that well health-wise. But he's here. I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Cretin because it's hard for me to get excited about these records because, for one, neither record sounds like a Styx record. Show Me the Way sounds like it could fit on a Dennis DeYoung solo album, and I am not dogging Dennis DeYoung. I love Dennis DeYoung, and Show Me the Way's fine. I just don't think it really sounds like a Styx song to me, but okay. Anyway, because I'm already on a tangent already. I'm already worked up because it's just sad. Because what was so great, like I said, at least Kilroy was here sounded like Styx. These don't even sound like Styx. And there are no songs here. Whatever. I'm going to be quiet because I'm going to have an explosion. Turn it over to Cretin. Cretin, take it away so I calm down. Cretin,
Okay.
Let's talk about these records. Go ahead.
Edge of the Century, their 12th studio record, was recorded from April 1989 to August 1990. So it took them over a year to put this album together.
Hold on, real quick. Everybody, I want to make sure, is Davey loud enough on your end? Because he doesn't seem very loud to me. And I just want to make sure, because someone in the last show said Davey needs to bring his volume up. And I just want to make sure everybody can hear him all right, because let me know in the chat. Does Davey sound all right?
1 2 1 2. Check one.
I feel
Mic
like we're
check.
like in a space-time continuum.
Again? Oh no.
Yvonne. Oh, he's giving a thumbs up. Oh, 19th, the Grand Illusion's here. He said, louder than life says you're a bit quiet. I can boost you up on my end.
Okay, great.
Right now I have it set so you automatically adjust volume. Say something now. Go.
1 2 1 2. Check check. Mic check.
Is that better?
I feel like I'm back in the Ramones band.
Okay, Steven says I hear you fine. All right, sorry, Davey, but I want to make sure people hear you. That's all. So
now this was recorded at CRC Studios, the Chicago recording company in Chicago, Illinois. Came out on A&M Records. Here's one little problem with the album: produced by Dennis DeYoung, and they were still living in the 70s, early 80s, because the record's only 42 and a half minutes long.
well,
10
that's
songs.
fine.
Like you said, they got Glenn Burtnick in. Now, this record was certified gold, but it was certified gold February 1998. So almost 8 years almost 7.5 years after it came out. You got the classic lineup almost of Dennis DeYoung, James Young, the twins, the Panazzo brothers, and like you said, Glenn Burtnick coming in. It hit number 49 in Canada, so the record did better in Canada. And Show Me the Way was a number 9 single in Canada, and it hit number 3 on the Canadian adult contemporary charts. Carrie Ann, a Dennis DeYoung ballad, was issued as a single, but in Germany only, and it didn't do anything over there. Now, Glenn Burtnick he had some solo records, and he did get some airplay, at least on New York rock radio. He had 2 solo records, Talking in Code from '86, Heroes and Zeros. That's the one that was definitely on A&M Records that had a minor hit called Follow You, number 1965 and 1987. So I'm sure because of the record company, that's how he got hooked up with the band. Because James Young used to contact Dennis once a year in the 80s and say, are we getting the band back together? And Dennis said, no, not without Tommy, which I've said in previous episodes, at least one previous episode. So when they found out Tommy was forming a band with Jack Blades, formerly of Night Ranger, and Ted Nugent, Dennis said, let's reform the band. But when they reformed, John Panazzo, the drummer, had aged a lot. He totally had white hair. I remember getting the CD and looking at the booklet and being surprised at that. And Dennis had gray hair too. So they looked a step out of time. Since they started recording in the late 80s, the sound quality, very sterile, studio sounding. And it's missing that Tommy Shaw slight guitar edge on it. I mean, Glenn wrote a few songs, but they're just not as rocking and upbeat, and they're not as good as a bunch of Tommy Shaw songs are. So it starts with Love is the Ritual, which was the first single. It did well on rock radio. It hit number 9 on the Billboard rock chart, but it's not a great opener. It has, instead of the Styx lush harmonies, it has gang vocals. Hey, hey. And pre-recorded, when I saw them live on this tour, which I'm going to get to the whole story of how I met the band, they were using pre-recorded vocals live for that. And it just, I thought that was a major minus for Styx to use pre-recorded
gang vocals? You don't like Styx with gang vocals?
No. Harmony vocals. So that song to me right off the bat is not a great song. Written by Burtnick, sung by Burtnick, lead guitar by Burtnick. Then you said Show Me the Way, which is the best song on the record. Then it comes my favorite Burtnick song, Edge of the Century, which I think is a good upbeat rock song, written by Burtnick and the dreaded Bob Berger. What a name. I wish my name was Bob Berger.
You could change it.
Berger Cretin. I like that. At any
Look,
rate,
Logan said Styx got hysteria. Kinda.
That's a good point. Almost like Dennis overproduced it and took the rock edge away. This is basically a pop album, pop rock record, and it just doesn't have the edge of the earliest Styx records. No pun intended. Edge of the Century. Love at First Sight is next, which is an okay Dennis ballad, but it's not great. Hit number 13 on the U.S. Adult Contemporary chart. You get a nice ballad, all in a day's work, written by Burtnick, sung by Burtnick and DeYoung, where Dennis is playing accordion. So it's a bit of a throwback to Boat on the River. So it's not a bad song. It's decent. Then you get a cover song, and Styx doing a cover song in 1990, written by a guy named Ralph Covert, called Not Dead Yet. it's pedestrian, it's average.
Mhm.
Dennis has a decent vocal, but it's not really a memorable song. You get a
No.
Burtnick rocker, World Tonight, Dennis's Carrie Ann ballad. Then you get a very average JY song called Home Wrecker.
Ugh.
And I think the album ends well. Dennis wrote a song called Back to Chicago. There's a horn section. I think that's a decent song, but overall, it just doesn't have that Styx sound a little bit, but it's missing Tommy. And you could tell that Tommy Shaw's missed on this record. What
Yeah,
are
but
your thoughts on the record?
I think the record sucks. It doesn't sound like Styx. I don't think there are any songs here. It is slick, slick, slick. Styx was never this slick. This is just we need to get a check. Hopefully we can get a hit. This is just commercial slop. It is not worthy. It is not even Styx as far as I'm concerned. There is nothing here that even sounds like Styx.
Show Me the Way does.
It sounds like a Dennis DeYoung track. And I'm not dogging Dennis.
I know.
But it doesn't sound like a Styx song to me at all. Christopher goes, it is soft. This record is soft. This is them just getting back together for a paycheck, or someone wanted them to get back to, I don't know. Are they trying to prove something to Tommy? I don't get it. They should have not even put it out. It's not even worth listening to. It's 1990, this sounds like 1986. Not even 1990. Horrible. Absolutely hideous.
That's what I said. It sounds like it's like you said. It sounds like a Dennis solo album with some Styx members grafted onto it.
Yeah, but it's not even good, Dennis. If anybody listened to those last two Frontiers albums, or heck, pick any of the stuff that Dennis, Desert Moon. There's nothing like that. Anything on Desert Moon. Like, this is just people coming back together for the hell of it, and hopefully it'll stick. They must have had one more record on their A&M contract. That's what I'm thinking. That's what it sounds like. This record sounds like a contract obligation record. That's what I think it is. And I don't have proof, but were they on A&M after this?
No.
Just
for the greatest hits, which we're going to get to.
So Byron says, so Grant kind of likes it. This is the worst record. These two records are the worst records we've ever thrown out here on the channel. I like Styx. This is not my Styx. Yeah. This is so much. Kilroy was here is like miles ahead of these records.
I agree with you on that, but these are better than the last two Boston records.
Look at this. Right on, brother. Look, The Grand Illusion. He's down with it. It lacks love. It lacks soul, Christopher. This is just a contract obligation record. Okay, Show Me the Way is a good song. It's a great Dennis. It's the only one.
And it was helped along.
This time, wait a minute. After all this time, you can't come up with an album worthy of all great tracks? You should have, James Young should have had a shitload. It should have been like the old days. James Young should have had a shitload of stuff. Dennis should have had all this
records.
Huh?
He was putting out solo records
that no one bought. Right. All I'm saying is that these guys weren't out touring and doing stuff like they used to. They should have a shitload of great songs in the arsenal. That's all.
Well, Dennis had just put out Boom Child, which is probably his worst album, I think.
I don't think... we looked at Boom Child. I didn't think Boom Child was that bad.
And
I don't know. It was on MC... Go ahead.
Before I give my score, one more thing.
Well...
That the song Show Me the Way was helped out because some DJs, I think in the Midwest, attached it to the Gulf War. They put kids talking to their parents, parents talking to the kids, the vets that were overseas in the Gulf War, and that actually helped the song chart better, which is a bit unusual that Styx had a wartime hit.
Sydney, I will say, where is that? What if it's sitting here? Hold on. Let me look.
I disagree, Sydney. They're not great.
The one with Jan Palmer?
That's the one I remember. That's the one I definitely have.
Where the hell is it? It was sitting right here. Well, we do have a Walter Egan album if we want to pull that out. But I don't know. I had the James Young album sitting here, and now it's not. Anyway, so I would like to get those James Young solo albums on CD. I've got the Jan Hammer one on vinyl.
I have that.
I agree with Grant if I ever heard a second of it. 100%. Ernesto, okay, I do want to say something real quick, Davey. Ernesto is normally Ernesto's really off base, kind of like Sydney. They're both like in La La Land most of the time, but Ernesto does have a good point. What makes a good record? Soul, passion, the ability to write good songs. That's a good way to start off, Ernesto. I agree with you on there. Oh, Gary Joyce is, God, that's awfully high, Gary. All right, hold on. Let's get Davey's rating, and then I'm going to turn it. You're going 4? All right,
I'm giving it a 4.
I'm on such a tirade that I'm not ready.
Well, they put out records. I never put out a record. It has Show Me the Way. It has some decent melodies, a couple of good songs, but it's one of the, if not the least best Styx album. Let's put it that way.
One of them. Like I said, what did I give Kilroy? Remind me. 3?
You gave it a 5, then a
5?
4, then a 3.
3. This is even worse than that. Kilroy should be a 10 if I'm ranking these. Jesus Christ. All right, so you got a 4.
Yep.
Gary Joyce is going 5.5. I can't imagine there would be a lot of people that are in the chat that have really heard this record that lived through it. Because it probably should have killed you dead after you heard it. So horrible. Logan says, Gary, too high, try again. Louder. God, Jay is gonna go with a 5. You people need to get your hearings checked. Stephen David, I ranked this a 4.5. All right. Zappa,
So far on the lowest.
No, Zappa's got you. He's got your back. Now, Zappa, I probably could give Show Me the Way just a 2.5 on its own. So I agree with your 2.5. But the Grand Illusion, I think, really is dialed in.
Ooh.
My friend, you are the master. A 0.7. God darn it. Bless your heart. All right, I got it down. All right, Sydney, I'm going with 5. I like half, but we already know Sydney has no taste. So if he scores this a 5, it's really like a 0.7 based on all of his other ratings. Of course, I'm surprised he's even heard it. 5 isn't exactly great. It's mediocre if we're going out of 10. Christopher is going to go to a 3. Doves, I can listen to Show Me the Way, though it doesn't, I wouldn't turn it off. I think it's all right. Belongs on a Dennis record, but hey, whatever. All good. Oh, Webb's going to go. Ooh. All right. Well, I won't even count that. Show Me the Way is the 2.5 for me. Okay, I got it. Well, yeah, there were plenty of, back when this came out, people bought it, took it in the corner, listened to it, threw up. Well, a lot of people died while they were listening to it, so it never made it back to the record store. But when they were cleaning up the remains of people who were listening to this, they would find the CDs and then sell them back to used CD stores. There used to be a shitload of them, but not many people bought this record. So
it did go gold.
No. Probably all Sydney's family. What album did Martin? He scored. Kilroy was here a 0.
And Def Leppard Hysteria too.
Now, I'm not sure if Martin's heard Edge of the Century, but I would think that Martin would go probably on top of his office building where his office is, and he would go to the edge, and I'm pretty sure he'd jump off.
The edge of the century or the edge of the building?
Edge of the building or the century. Take your pick. All right, here we go. Is it Lizard King?
It's my friend from Australia, Peter.
Is it that bad? Go ahead, go listen to it and report back in. Okay, is anybody else? Webb would give Hysteria 2.5. I don't think it's good or good at all. Not good.
Has women on it. I like that song.
I just don't think that Def Leppard stuff. You know what I find odd, Davey? I'm sorry I'm on a tirade, but it's one of those days. You know what I find odd?
What?
You listen to like Hysteria. You listen to, well, Pyromania I can kind of get. But Hysteria, what was the album after Hysteria? Animalize. Animalize. Or Animalize, either one. They still play that stuff like on the FM rock radio station.
Same here.
And it just sounds so dated, and it just sounds so overproduced and synthetic. I'm surprised that people really like that stuff. This might even sound better than Hysteria. Maybe. Oh, God, that's going on the edge. They don't play that stuff. You know, that like the first Def Leppard out. I don't want to go on a Def Leppard tangent. But, you know, the
First
song
three
Wasted.
are the best.
You know, the song Wasted is a great rock. That band, you listen to that song or that album, and then you listen to like Hysteria. Where did that old band go? Where did they go?
Produced.
Did they get sucked up by something? Like Jabba the Hutt came by and sucked them in?
No, it's
I don't know. Where did they go? And why don't they play the song Wasted on FM rock radio? It would fit right in.
I never heard that in New York City on the rock radio.
God, it's great. Anyway, I'm on a tirade tonight, so it doesn't matter. Here we go. Slogan, Dreamalize is my favorite John Sykes performance, given those gained vocals a 10 out of 10. Davey just went into the atmosphere, I think. I don't know where he went. All right. I'm done doing my tirade. So has everybody given me their score for Edge of the Century? And I don't know where Davey is, but I could keep going. I got a lot of material here to deal with. So Davey looks different. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, all right. I'm going to give this. He's gone. All right. Well, we'll continue on. Really, there's so much here that I can talk about that I could do this show all night. I'm sure he'll be back. Anyway, so I would probably give this. Davey's not dead yet. Where did he go? He might have forgotten to pay his bill. Where is he? Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
I thought I was going to have to do a live show by myself, and I've never done that.
Everything went black on me. Sorry. What was your score?
Logan says you look different. I don't know what happened. My score, I'm going to give this. Should I be brutal? I'm with a point. Is it that? No, I'd give it a 2.0 based on Don't Show Me the Way. That's the only redeeming thing on here. And based on the amount of people that have given their score, they've all had pretty good taste and not listened to it. So let's calculate what we've got. We got a 4.4.
That's higher than I thought.
That's higher than I thought. But, some people, Sydney, he give it a 5. He plays it every day.
Thanks.
High and Dry, nothing wrong with High and Dry.
High and Dry.
Wait a minute. Webb says
that's my favorite.
Someone has emergency at the assisted living. I thought maybe you had to run out.
I'm off today.
All right. He's falling and he can't get up. All right, cool. Well, there you go. We got a 4.4. Not looking good, people. But let's keep going. Where are we at?
Well,
we're 24. This might be a quick show. All right, let's go to the next record. Go ahead, Davey. Talk about it. What?
Before we do that, I'd like to tell the story of when I met the band, when I saw them live.
Oh, please do.
The Beacon Theater in New York City. I think it was April 1991. They played 2 nights. I had a friend at Polygram. He hooked me up with free tickets for both shows and backstage passes for the first night. So next door to the Beacon Theater after the show, I had a special pass, got invited to meet the band. So my friend and I went to the show, and it was open bar. And I'm in my early 20s. I'm not a big drinker. I'm not a big guy. So I had a couple of drinks on an empty stomach because I used to like to eat and still do after concerts rather than before. So the band comes out, and I met the Panazzo brothers first, and I was a bit tipsy, and my friend told me, and I have no memory of saying this to him, I said to Chuck, I shook his hand, nice to meet you, and I said, you should sing more on the records. And my friend just said, what the hell were you saying to him? You said he should
doesn't
sing
sing.
more. He's the bass player. He does occasional backing vocals. And then John, the drummer, who, like I said, had the white hair and looked totally different. In the video, I think it is for Come Sail Away, he gives a captain's salute. So I remember telling him, I said, hey, we're going to be a tomorrow night show. Well, right at the beginning of Come Sail Away, can you give us a captain's salute? So the next night, we got no salute, unfortunately. So unfortunately, we didn't know at the time, but John was an alcoholic, and he had a tough time when Styx were not a band from 1984 to 1990 because he wasn't a songwriter, and he was used to playing with the band, touring with the band, and his alcohol problem got the better of him. And like you said, he ended up passing away 1996. So then JY comes out, and JY was holding a drink, and I asked him to autograph my CD booklet. And my friend said, oh, JY was eyeballing you. And I said, why was he looking at me as he's signing the autograph? He said, he thought you were going to slip him a Mickey. And I said, oh, someone must have done that to him in the past. They must have put something in this drink, and he's not a drugs and alcohol guy. He must have been flying high, so he's watching his drink to be careful. Then Dennis comes out, and I had read an interview with Dennis in Kerrang! Magazine because he was promoting the Edge of the Century record at the time. And Kerrang! Quoted him as dissing Billy Joel. So I brought that up to Dennis. Hey, what's your problem with Billy Joel? He said he's not a good artist. He's not a good songwriter. And he got very upset with me. I never said that about Billy Joel. Don't listen to those British guys. They misquoted me. I love Billy Joel. He's a great songwriter. And then I asked him, who's your favorite keyboard player, Wakeman or Emerson? He said, Keith Emerson is the man from ELP. That's the best keyboard player. And I had a Styx shirt on underneath my jean jacket. And I said, you sure? Not Wakeman? And I opened my jacket to show a picture of Wakeman. Wakeman's good, but he's no Keith Emerson. So Dennis DeYoung is a big, big Keith Emerson fan. But he got a little mad about that I said that he insulted Billy Joel. And he said, no, I like Billy Joel. Don't trust everything you read. So words to live by. So I'm a bit, like I said, I was tipsy on a couple of drinks on an empty stomach. After the show, my friend and I went to get my car from the parking garage a few blocks from the Beacon Theater. And you can imagine April, New York City, late at night, probably 1 o'clock in the morning. It's cold out. It's windy, not great weather in April in New York. We go to get my car. It has a flat tire. Usually something like that would drive me crazy. But because I just met at the time my favorite band, I didn't even mind. And we had to go to a gas station to get my flat tire repaired. And my friend said, take your money out of your wallet, hide it in your shoe, just leave a $20 bill in the wallet. So they fixed the flat tire. I said, how much? He said, $50. I said, all I have is a 20. He's like, okay, I'll take it. So that's the story of how I met my favorite band at the time, Styx. Glenn Burtnick did not come backstage, and I was asking everyone why. They all said the same thing. He had a cold. He wasn't feeling well. He was not doing the meet and greet. And that's my story.
All right. Well, and you survived to tell it. Did you tell him how sucky the album was?
No, at the time I liked it. The album has not aged well.
Well,
And as a Styx fan in 1990, I was desperate to hear anything by them. So I liked the album at the time. In fact, at the show, I think they did 8 songs from the record. I think they did everything except Carrie Ann and Back to Chicago. So they were really promoting the record. It just went gold and it didn't do well as previous albums. And one more thing, when Pearl Jam were huge in the early 90s and I was working at the record store, we sold so many Pearl Jam bootleg CDs. Even if the sound was bad, they did an unreleased song. People bought them. We were selling for $20 for a single disc, $40 for a double disc, something like that. And people were eating up the Pearl Jam stuff because after that first album was huge, they just wanted any Pearl Jam stuff. That's the way I felt about Styx in 1990 and 91. It just hasn't aged as well.
I always have to ask you this, Davey.
Sure.
Does Tia go back behind you and take your winder and just, I mean, does she wind you up every day?
Nope.
How does that work?
Pure
I mean,
adrenaline, baby.
Okay, I'm trying to understand because it's just amazing the
There's
amount of
water in
energy.
here.
He's pure, ladies and gentlemen. He's pure. He's pure.
As the driven snow.
I swear to God, I thought she would. I thought maybe she'd come up behind you at a moment and give you a couple more turns. Anyway, since Mr. Cretin is on a roll, and I'll be going on at a tangent at any moment, why don't you? You know what? I want to mention something, Logan. It'd be a lot more fun to talk T-Rex as opposed to these two horrible records. Anyway, Mr. Cretin. I like Mr. Cretin. It's not him. It's just I wish we had better material. Why don't you start talking about Brave New World and we'll reconvene.
Before we go into that album,
what now?
Styx have 6 unreleased songs in the middle between 1990's Edge of the Century and 1999's Brave New World. They put out a greatest hits CD in 95, and they re-recorded Lady because they couldn't get the rights from Wooden Nickel at the time, called Lady 95. And it's a re-recording. And to me, it's decent. It just doesn't match up to the original.
But what's the point?
Because Tommy was back in the band. He was done with Damn Yankees. They wanted to put Lady on the greatest hits. They couldn't get the rights from RCA/Wooden Nickel. So that's why they redid it. And I remember them doing it on, Regis and Kathy Lee at the time, I think it was.
Well, it's different if they're doing it on Regis and Kathy Lee. I just don't think I'm just not happy with this period. So whatever you say, I'm just going to go.
The greatest hits was certified double platinum March of 2005. So that's a big seller in that catalog. The next year, of course, A&M had to cash in. And the band was getting back together. They put out Greatest Hits Part 2. And there are 2 new songs on there. One is called Little Susie, which was written by Glenn, Tommy, and Dennis. Tommy Shaw sings it. It's a good rock song. Little Susie, almost 5 minutes long. It's got some nice guitar by JY and some nice guitar by Tommy on it. And then there was a Dennis ballad, although it was written by Glenn Burtnick and his buddy Bob Berger. Dennis DeYoung sings the song It Takes Love, which is a decent Dennis ballad, 3.5-minute song, but it wasn't released as a single. Then the following year, they got back together and went out on the Return to Paradise tour. Now, that video, they released a long-form video after it, right before DVDs came into vogue, and that's a gold-selling video, certified October 2000. And then they put out the Return to Paradise CD, and that had 3 new songs on it. It's a double live album with 3 studio songs. And these songs, well, 2 out of 3 of them are really good. The first song, On My Way, written by Tommy, sung by Tommy, 5-minute song. That's a really good melodic rocker. It's mid-tempo, but it has those Styx triad harmonies. You hear Dennis, you hear JY on it, and it's an upbeat rocker with some nice guitar playing. And it hit number 83 in Canada. Then there was also a Dennis DeYoung ballad on here, which hit number 27 on the adult contemporary charts, called Paradise. And it was repurposed from his Hunchback of Notre Dame album, solo record he released around that time. And the last song is written by Tommy Shaw, 3-minute acoustic ditty, and it's a tribute to John Panazzo, however you want to say it, called Dear John. And it's a very good, heartfelt Tommy Shaw acoustic ballad. So I think that's really good. On My Way, I think, is an underrated song. Any Styx fans who haven't heard the song On My Way, check it out. It's on the streaming services, on the Return to Paradise album, and it's also on YouTube. I highly recommend that song. I think it's a really good song. You have any thoughts on any of these songs?
I have a thought on Dear John. I think that's an absolute classic. What a wonderful tribute. Top notch. Yep. Top notch. Okay. And it's so sad that it took the death of John Panazzo to bring such a beautiful song. And like I said, a beautiful, emotional tribute. But everything else is just, I don't know. Styx is just in they're like men stuck in a wilderness.
I was just gonna say the wilderness years. The man in the wilderness years.
But the men. in the wilderness.
Good one.
Um,
That'd make a good title for an
it's
article.
interesting because we have a tire conversation going on. You just never know what. There he goes again, ladies and gentlemen. He's gone. Then I'm here. Well, Dear John is special, 100%. Sydney says all season tires, actually, winter tires are pointless. We can just, do they even make winter tires anymore? I don't know. Do they? Oh, he's back, kind of. Maybe should I let him in?
Yes,
We'll give him another
please.
try. All right, so keep going, Cretin. Talk to me about this next record. Let me get rid of the graphic. It's so horrible. I just totally went blank and forgot the name of the record.
Brave New World.
Brave New World. God, all I can say is all you have to do is look at the album cover and vomit in the corner of your room, whatever room you're in, because look at this. And this is, I'm going to go on a tirade for both of. All right. You have a good logo like the Styx logo right above. Why? This is like the thing with April Wine. You have the great April Wine logo, then Walking Through Fire. Hey, let's just throw out that April Wine logo. You got the great Styx logo. Why aren't you using it? Why are you doing shit like this? Both of these album covers are shit. Where's the Styx logo? That would at least help it. That would at least help sell some records and make it more identifiable. Brave New World, what is that? That looks like a freaking Emerson, Lake and Palmer album to me. On a no-name label.
Well, it's Dennis's Guy. Come on.
It's what? What is it?
It's Dennis's Guy. Emerson,
his
forget
guy
it.
is blind. He can't paint. And where's the Styx logo? Jesus. Brett goes, covered by hypnosis.
No.
Yeah, I wish.
It's Ionis. The guy who just passed away last year, Ionis.
Who is?
Your friend Pete interviewed him.
That
the
did this horrible album cover? I don't. I think that's a rumor.
Fate's Warning. No, he's credited.
On this? Did Pete ask him where the Styx logo is when he was interviewing him?
That was
I'm gonna have to talk to Pete about that this weekend. Jesus, kill me, people.
And
you know what? If I could have got a hold, you know what you should have done, Cretin? When you were at that meet and greet, when you were talking to the band, you should have went up to each member and shook them and said, "What the hell are you doing?" That's what you should have done. All right, cool. Good. We'll keep going.
Well, Hugh Syme did the artwork, and everyone knows Hugh Syme from the Rush albums. He did the artwork for Edge of the Century.
It looks like shit. You know, Hugh Syme's hit and miss too. You've got a great album cover like Permanent Waves. But then what's the one with the stupid rocks?
Hold Your Fire, the 3 balls?
That's stupid too. The one with the rocks.
Test for Echo.
Test for Echo, horrible. But Permanent Waves, absolutely brilliant. A Farewell to Kings, absolutely brilliant.
Pictures.
Moving Pictures. Well, that's not my favorite, but it's still better than those other ones. All right, Test for Echo, yes, horrible, awful. Test for Echo is awful. And
the artwork,
the Rush font's horrible on it. It's horrible. I don't have any problem with the record. I don't think the cover's any good. Anyway, go ahead. Signals.
The record's okay.
Signals. Great album cover. Great album cover. Great record. Oh, I love Signals is right up there, baby. Right.
I was playing that today.
Hell yes, you were, because you're a damn professional, Cretin. You know what's going on. We can't pull the wool over your eyes. You know what's good and what's bad. Anyway, keep going. We're going to be here all night. It's already 40. We have 20 minutes left before I throw you out of here.
Okay. Brave New World, 13th studio album, recorded in 98, released over 6 months later, mid-99, like you said. One of the problems with this album, it's an hour long. Now, Styx are in the CD age. They got 14 songs on here, too many songs, produced by Dennis, Tommy, and JY, yet they're all in separate studios in different parts.
It's the White Album. It's like the Beatles when they were recording the White Album. They were all in different studios, multiple, it's kind of like that.
And the White Album is way better than this album.
Well, of course, but that's kind of what it is.
Some songs on the White Album I'm a little sketchy on, but that's another show for another time. So you got 14 songs here, 9 songs from Tommy, and those songs sound like a Tommy Shaw solo record. And then, like Yes's Union album, they've grafted 5 Dennis DeYoung songs onto the record, so you get 14 songs, and it's just too much. It sounds way too much like Edge of the Century sounded like a Dennis DeYoung solo album. This sounds like Tommy's solo album from the year before, 7 Deadly Zens. That's what a lot of this stuff reminds me of.
Yeah, but 10 Deadly Zens, Cretin, is a great record. This is not a great record.
You're right. That's better than this.
That is in my. I know we're on a tangent, and you're going to keep saying shit to get me worked up. That to me is the best Tommy Shaw solo album. I think it was all good. The production's good. Everything's good. So he must have took everything that he had already written for that. He didn't have anything left. Maybe.
And these are the leftovers, you're saying.
Yeah.
So the first song is co-written with Jack Blades. Now, they did make a third Damn Yankees record, but they shelved it and never released it. The band decided it's not good enough, we're not going to release it. And all those songs have been cannibalized by the band members. And there's a couple of co-writes with Jack Blades from Damn Yankees on this record. The first song, I Will Be a Witness, has some nice wah-wah playing from Tommy Shaw on guitar. It has a good vocal. It's a decent song. It's not phenomenal. It's not horrible. The second track is Moody. And I think Tommy Shaw is playing his Japanese shamisen, that weird guitar instrument that he used on the Kilroy album, because it has some sitar-type sounding guitar on it. So the title track, Brave New World, written by Tommy and JY, I like. It's a decent song. Then you get a Dennis ballad, but it's average. While There's Still Time, that's also from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You get a Tommy Sung and Penn song called Number One, which is average and it's pretty forgettable. It has a heavy guitar riff, some nice playing, but the song itself doesn't do much for me. You get Best New Face next, which is the other co-write with Jack Blades by Tommy. Very poppy. It doesn't even sound like Damn Yankees. It's too poppy. It sounds like a bad reject from a solo album. I don't really like Best New Face. Then you get a Tommy JY song called What Have They Done to You that JY sings and also Tommy sings. That's okay. It's decent. You get a Dennis song called Fallen Angel, a little bluesy, but average and forgettable. Then you come to the first and only single from the record, Everything Is Cool, track 8. Over 5 minutes long. Tommy sings it. Tommy plays lead guitar on it, sings lead. This is the best song on the record. Everything Is Cool. And when I saw them on this tour, because I've seen them on every tour from Paradise Theater up through the Mission, I've seen them tour every studio record and more.
Look at you.
They're one of the bands I've seen the most times. They played Everything Is Cool from the record. And to me, this is the best song on the record. Then you get another bluesy Dennis ballad, Great Expectations, average. You get a really good rock, a track 10, Heavy Water, sung by Tommy and JY. 4.5 minutes. They did that live too. Really good rocker. Then you get what I think is the worst Styx song ever, High Crimes and Misdemeanors from Dennis. And it's subtitled Hip-Hocracy. Hip-Hopcracy. And it's a bad pun. It's a terrible song. He's insulting rappers and rap music. It's like Old Man Yells at the Clouds. How did they let this on the record? Really bad quality control. Easily the worst Styx
song. What
song.
label did this come out on?
It came out on CMC International.
All right.
All the
there you
bands
go.
were going.
That's all I have to say.
And this song should have never been on the record. Really bad song. You get an average Tommy song, Just Fell In. You get probably the best out of the 5 Dennis songs, Goodbye Roseland, a ballad, but it's probably my favorite out of his 5 songs on here, but it's still not a great song. And then you get the Brave New World reprise or reprise, 3.5 minutes. And what they did is they grafted Dennis's vocals onto some of the Tommy songs, like they did with the 2 factions of Yes in the early 90s to make Union. and they
Ugh.
grafted some of Tommy's vocals onto the Dennis songs. Now, Wikipedia says that Glenn Burtnick does guitar and vocals on this album, but I can't find that confirmed anywhere else.
You don't hear him, do you?
No, I think he's a ghost
Yeah.
player on this record. If he is, he's not credited. Maybe he's on the Dennis stuff, but nothing else. But I don't even know if that's the Styx guys playing on the Dennis stuff because it doesn't really give details on it.
I don't think so.
But
It doesn't sound like a Styx record at all.
It sounds like a Tommy record, but there were some really good. I think Everything Is Cool and Heavy Water lift this record up for me. The first two songs I like. I'm going to give this record a 5. I like it better than Edge of the Century. It has more cojones to it. And it's got Tommy back in the band.
I don't give a shit. If you listen to Girls with Guns, it doesn't.
I like that album.
It's well, we've been over this before. See, this is why that whole crap, stupid ass. I'm all worked up today. You got that behind the music. You've got JY and Tommy on there crying about Dennis made us play Babe, and he was running the band, and we turned into ballads. And then you would think when Tommy got out of the band, gonna have a solo record. What I thought when he got out of there, because he was so whiny about Kilroy, it was so horrible. When he got out, you thought, oh my God, that solo album is going to be rock. We're going to have Blue Collar Man all through this record. He's gone. We're going to have Blue Collar Man. We're going to have, we'll be rocking because JY and Tommy wanted to rock, and this solo album should be rocking. And what I got was more pop crap. Now, I like pop, but I don't want, if you're going to bitch about it, if you're complaining about the material that was on the record before and you left the band because you were so unhappy, you made a record that's got more of that crap on it. I wish someone could please explain it to me because I don't get it. I was still, but 7 Deadly Zens? 10? What is it?
7 Deadly Zens,
7.
1998.
I like that record quite a bit. That was at least something more along the lines of what I wanted out of Tommy at the time. I think Tommy's one of those guys. I love Tommy. He needs a band. I like what he did with Shaw Blades. I like that material with him and Jack.
Damn Yankees.
Damn Yankees. He needs someone to bounce stuff off of. That's
and the friction is good. The friction makes good music. Look at the Stones.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good, but you leave and you cry because you didn't like what was going on, and then you just produce more slop. I don't get it. I don't understand.
There's some good rockers on the first album. Come In and Explain. It's a good rock song. Nice guitar work, really good vocal.
I just remember when Girls with Guns came out. I'm going to have a damn Tommy Shaw listening party. Damn it, we're not going to do Sly and the Family Stone this weekend. We're going to do a damn Tommy Shaw. We're going to do a solo Styx listening party. We'll play tracks from Girls with Guns. That's what we're going to do. Maybe we will. That might be kind of fun. And then we can just throw it out there and see what people think, because I don't know how many people have heard a lot of that stuff. Anyway, sorry, this has been a tangent show, but that's the way it is. So you're giving this a 5?
Yes.
All right, before I give my rating, how about anybody? I already hate this record, so I don't think there's anything really worthwhile. I probably like it. At least Show Me the Way was on the other record. This doesn't have anything like that. This is a worse record than the Glenn Burtnick record. Yeah, well,
even with Tommy.
Tommy's bringing crap on this record. There are no good Tommy Shaws on here. No good Shaw tracks.
Everything is cool.
Country rocking is 100% right. God dang.
It's better than this record, but
what I'll do, Sydney, is just play a Tommy Shaw listening party. We'll play. Yeah, but I need to mix it up. If you're playing a whole album, That's not good for YouTube. YouTube doesn't like it when you play whole albums. That's
Got to
where you
mix
have
it up.
problems. All right. So Gary Joyce is going with a 5. I think Gary, I used to really think highly of Mr. Joyce, that usually his ratings are right on until
It's
now.
right on with me.
Both of you gentlemen need to go and see an audiologist. Please make an appointment. Louder's going to go with a 4. Jesus, Jay, man. All right. So is rec so is record stinks. This stinks. Both these were out on vinyl. Well, they wasted a lot of vinyl.
Edge of the Century I've seen on vinyl. Never.
All right, the
break.
Grand Illusion's going 2.7. He likes this record better than the other record. All right. Slogan is a 2.8. Okay. I guess. Is that your rating, Sydney? So is Grant going to try to turn me on? Don't, Kiefer, avoid these albums like the plague. Avoid. Please do me a favor. If you're a completist, get these 2 last. These are just me. 2. Zappa's going with 2. God, this one's going to score lower. Maybe. Christopher is going to go with a 3.2. I mean, if you look at this album, if you look at this record on paper, you think, hey, Tommy's back. Shouldn't everybody be excited, ready to go? Let's build the magic that we had. People
Small
just
label. It was on a small label.
Dennis has a studio in his house. They could record there for free. It's all bullshit.
It's put together like Yes's Union record. So it's a low point in the band's career.
What's the point of putting a record out? If you're going to put a crappy record out and it's crap, don't you think they knew this was crap? These guys are smart guys. They would know what the material's subpar. It's subpar.
They wanted to have something to tour behind. Look, they wouldn't even wait for Dennis. They went on the road without Dennis.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I agree. Brave New World is a 6. Country rock. Well, maybe that's part of the problem. A 6? Come on, man. Come on. I like you, though. I think you're a stand-up person.
This is more of a
Brave
rock
New World
album.
is not that bad. Okay, let's see. Brave New World is not that bad, but not great for Styx. Okay, so country rock, and you're saying that maybe if this album didn't have the Styx banner, and maybe a band called the McGillicuddies, that this would be a better record. The new album from the McGillicuddies, Brave New World. Because morons like you will buy it. Buy what? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Byron's going to go with a negative. Oh, we got a negative.
Ooh, negative score.
So maybe if it was the McGillicuddies. All right. Annie T's going to go with a 0. She's never heard these records. When these came out, she was probably irrigating lawns and stuff. She's never heard these things. She probably doesn't even remember 1990. You know what? She probably blocked 1990 out from her whole memory bank, I bet.
I think a lot of people did, the whole decade. But there is great music in the 90s. Not these albums.
Wait a minute. Sydney might be onto something here. It would be a perfect album if it was an EP and had 4 songs I like.
What 4 songs, Sydney?
What 4 songs, Sydney? Buy crappy Styx. Oh, Kiefer, come on. There's some great records. You cannot deny that Grand Illusion is not. You cannot say that Grand Illusion is a crappy record.
It's not.
Slogan was 3 in 19. God dang. So you were born when I graduated college. My goodness. Where's the banjo and dentures slapping?
Slam.
Okay. Girls was Gun.
That's true.
D Rocker. Tommy Shaw, Girls with Guns was featured on the first season of Miami Vice in the episode Glades. I'll just
Stand
leave it.
tall,
I'll just
don't think small, don't put your back against the wall.
Jesus God, Davey.
Should I do it
All
as
right.
Sinatra instead?
I would give this. I hate this record, and I think the fact that it's Tommy Shaw, which I do like, which really can bring it, didn't help anything at all. They were like Davey was saying, they were like in different studios. They weren't working together. It was just a CMC said, "Hey, we want a record." Okay, well, we'll do it. It's just crazy.
And they toured behind it
You,
without Dennis, and they
you know what
got
that?
Lawrence Gowan in the band.
You
And
know what
he's
is?
still there to this day.
Well, I like him. He's good. What he does on the new Styx album, absolutely brilliant.
We're going to get to that record.
You know what I'm talking about, Annie T. Doing a lot of irrigation. You know what I mean. Have me on your show. Okay, what are we going to talk about? What do you want to talk about, David Sterling? I don't even remember. I don't even remember David Sterling coming on, even in the chat ever.
I love his first name.
No. Anyway, I would give this a 1. I think it's horrible because no one came to the sessions and had anything. At least we had one good song on the previous record. It's nothing here that I ever want to hear again. Nothing. So I give it a 1. Let's calculate our scores, ladies and gentlemen. We have we have a 2.9. 2.94.
That's worse.
That's
I thought
worse.
Brave New World would fare better because Tommy's on it, but I was wrong.
You can have bad Tommy, though. Tommy's not the savior. Young Tommy could bring it. And it seems like Tommy right now is bringing it. Those last 3 Styx albums, top notch.
That's a lot of Will Evankovich on these albums.
I don't know.
He needs a foil. Like in Damn Yankees, he had Jack Blades, and Styx, he had Dennis and JY. Like you said, he needs a band.
Glenn Burtnick is the savior. I'm sure. Sure he is.
I didn't even meet him.
No, so Davey can't tell. Davey didn't get a chance to go up and just shake him and say,
He had
hell?
cool hair back in the day.
You know what? We should have done, Sydney, is brought John back. We might have had a good record. It's a good point. But maybe that's what we needed.
He passed. I think he passed.
No, he was
in
still
89.
alive. No.
89, 90. Look it up.
Oh, look it up. Logan knows everything about cool hair, says that he's got cool hair. I don't know. We're going to look. I'm have Cretins on it. We're going to look it up. Anyway, this is a failure, a 2.9. And the other record.
Bad.
What?
That's a bad grade.
We've never had a record rate so low in any of these shows other than this. This is the worst. BM Bolt says 1996.
1988, he died.
Well, why do you say 1996, Bolt? Give me the proper. What the hell? You're giving me faulty information. Okay, well, both bad albums don't waste.
That's him.
Ted, can't you? I see your comment right here. Oh, Ted, Dennis DeYoung is Styx no matter what JY says. Yeah. We talked about that on Sea of Tranquility, though, when we're looking at these records. People are bitching because Dennis isn't in the band. But you've got those 2 great Frontiers albums. Great Dennis records. And then you've got 3 great Styx albums that are out now. So you've got, we got 5 great records. Oh, he's gone again. We've got 5 great records because they're not working together. So depends on how you look at it. But we're looking at these records, Ted, and these albums suck. And they got Dennis DeYoung on them. So keep that in mind. Patriot says, be honest. Oh, God, Cretin, he's back again. Be honest. Tommy was jealous of Dennis. Dennis' songs charged, charted? Maybe charted. Well, he
Charted,
was
yeah,
much more of
charted.
a commercial songwriter. Dennis
Tommy
DeYoung
had
rules, but his
one.
hair killed the band. Jukebox, where you been? Where you been? You're late.
Hey,
We're getting ready to
cowboy.
wrap this dog
Yeah.
up. The new Styx is Ted. It is good. The last three have been great. Ted, have you heard the two albums from Dennis on Frontiers? Let me know. I want to know. At least we can agree Babe is the best Styx song, right? I don't have a problem with Babe. I think it's a good song. I don't have a problem with it. Dennis, oh, the arrogance. You okay? And your thoughts, Ted? Thoughts, real quick. Then we're going to wrap it up. And Ted, I appreciate you coming on. Anyway, I appreciate everybody coming in and chiming in on this show. Just Cretin and I talking music. That's all it is. Well, mostly me going on a tirade and Cretin talking music. That's what this show's been about. Those guys are
Insufferable
lucky to be able
attitude.
to. Jukebox, what's going on, man? Did you get up on the wrong side of the bed? Did you not have your bowl of cereal this morning? Those guys are lucky to be able to move on without having to deal with that insufferable attitude. We need to get Jukebox and Ted together, and they can battle out Dennis DeYoung.
Well, I will have more to say about that going forward in future episodes here. So.
The Styx rant. I like it. I like going on rants every now and then. Sweet Madam Blue best song. That's a different album. I'm talking about Ted. I'm talking about the two Dennis DeYoung albums on Frontiers. What was your thoughts on those? Weren't those good records? Oh, well, 100%. But I think the mission, we've talked about this before. Someone even mentioned someone in the comment mentioned it. We had to deal with all this crap to go from Pieces of 8 to the mission. We had to suffer through. It's funny. Why do you
Grant,
say
can
he's
we
so
tell them
rude?
how we're going?
What? We're going to wrap this up. We're over an hour. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, before we do that, can we tell them how we're going to end the series here and what we're doing after? That little thing we discussed, or next time?
Are we going to do a ranking of some sort?
We're going to do the Styx album ranking here.
Yeah, that's what we usually do.
And then,
so what we do with April Wine.
And then you're going to come on my channel and we're going to list our top 12 tunes by Styx.
Okay, that's what we're going to do. Hey, whatever Davey wants to do, I just let him run with it.
Thank you.
Dennis DeYoung,
thanks for having me.
Digon, where have you been? Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. You know, I've given some people shit. I'm on a tirade today. I do appreciate everybody coming on and supporting. It's just
yes, thank you.
Coming on here and rapping music. That's all it's about. And you know, when you rap music, you give shit to each other, you know? That's all it is. Put it in the book. Well, we haven't gotten that far yet. All right, so Davey.
Next episode is going to be Cyclorama and the covers album. Big
you're going to have
to,
Sydney, you have to take that up with Mr. Cretin. Look, Jukebox Cowboy is on a rampage. Listen, look at it.
What did he say?
Dude rubs me wrong, and I can see how he would rub his bandmates wrong. Hey, the Grand Illusion was a masterpiece, but dang. But Jukebox, did you see Pete Pardo's interview with Dennis? That is the best show. He got to had Dennis talk about so much stuff. Did you see that, Jukebox?
2 parts.
You gotta go see it. 2 parts. Love it. Thanks, Christopher. But you rock even harder, not me or Cretin. All right. Logan. Dennis rubbed me wrong once.
I rubbed him wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. 1977, A Grand Illusion is coming in here. I can confirm
Ooh.
Jukebox is 100%. You know who this is. This is Tommy
Wow.
Shaw. This is Tommy Shaw. That's who this is. Don't say anything. That's really who that is. Just between us.
Tell him not to sit on the plexiglass toilet.
No, hell no. You'll fall right through. Bottom line is Styx has given us a lot of great music over the years. D Rocker, what a way to end this show.
He's right.
Unfortunately, it's not these two records. What are we looking at next week? I mean, next month. We could do it next. No. Hey, I got my book.
No, we're
Of
doing
July.
Getty next week.
No. Well,
Geddy
I mean, the
Lee.
next Styx show. We're doing that in July, and I've got my old book, and it starts up in I don't have my July book. What are we looking at next month?
Cyclorama and the Big Bang Theory.
All right, we're getting better though. Cyclorama, I like that
Has some
record.
good stuff on it. It's got some really good songs.
They're coming back. So that's what we'll look at next month. Roland watching the show. Spaghetti Lee. Like on Sea of Tranquility. Whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah, he used to be in the comments a lot.
Yeah, where happened to Spaghetti Lee? Carrot album. Yeah, it's a horrible album cover. But
that's Hypnosis. Tell Webb that's a Hypnosis cover.
Hypnosis was dissolved by then. Was it a
Storm?
Storm?
Yeah, Storm Thurgeson. Good old Storm.
Let's see what's Ted saying. Look, his wife is battling a health issue.
Yes, Dennis's wife has cancer, unfortunately, and he has been her primary caregiver. That's why he's
good.
Been out
Well,
of
he would be. Well, no, he's that. Well, he loves his wife. We know that.
Oh, they've been married for what, 55 years?
When was that announced?
Just the other day, I saw it on Facebook. I think his son Matthew put it on Dennis's Facebook page.
Oh, how horrible! Well, I hope everything is. Yeah, Tommy, you should. Yeah, you know Suzanne.
Yep, I've seen her live with him. She sings backing vocals. A lot of times
shit.
with his band.
What? Wait a minute. What did? Wow, Sid, way to go, asshole! What is happening?
What did I miss?
I don't know. Sid's stirring the pot again.
Oh boy!
All right, man. Well, I want to. We're done. We went over an hour. We talked Styx. We can both probably don't start here, ladies and gentlemen. These would, if you're a completist and you love bad songs, bad production, and uninspired musical numbers, these records are for you. So,
okay,
Sydney,
wait. We could tell them, check out Return to Paradise from 1997. You love Dear John. I love On My Way. So we could recommend people to those songs from 97.
There you go. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Cretin, I'll be in touch. And we are doing a show on Monday. Did you want to talk about what we're doing? Go ahead.
Yes, we are doing the Geddy Lee solo record from 2000.
So it's a one and done.
The one and done show. My favorite headache.
And who's talking about the Geddy Lee solo album? Well, we did Victor, so we thought, might as well give Geddy some love. So that'll be a week from yesterday. What?
Yes. Is it better than the Victor album or is it worse?
We will find out.
Tune in Monday to find out.
Tune in Monday. All right. More Styx on the way. We will see you later. And everybody have a good week. Tomorrow's hump day. So we're getting closer to the weekend. And yes, he does. Yeah. It came out on Record Store Day 2 on vinyl.
Yes.
So, all right. Cretin, thanks. This has been fun. We will see everybody later. Everybody have a good day. See you.
Arrivederci.
Yeah.